Yonder reveals that Lucy is facing a difficult future as her rash actions finally pay off. After repeated rule-breaking and non-compliance, Lucy's father Daniel decides to impose a harsh punishment based on Summer's suggestion. One of the conditions of the punishment is that Lucy must write a letter of apology to Faith and her family for the hurt she has caused. While this is an act of making amends and mending the relationship, when the letter reaches Faith, things could go in the opposite direction. Sharon's mother, Sharon Newman, is currently in a state of mental instability after a series of traumatic events in her life. Sharon is vulnerable and is experiencing intense stress, especially as the feeling of losing control over her life gradually takes over. Lucy's apology letter could be a trigger for Sharon's latent anger. When Sharon reads this letter, it will not only bring back painful memories of the accident but also make her feel insulted. In a fit of rage, Sharon will probably crumple the letter without even thinking about accepting Lucy's apology. This will make her even more determined to punish those who she feels have harmed her life and her family. Sharon's increasingly bad mood will become a weakness that Cameron Kirsten can exploit. Cameron, who is Sharon's enemy from the past, has returned with the aim of pushing Sharon onto the path of revenge. With Cameron's instigation and psychological tricks, Sharon is easily controlled and acts on instinct instead of reason. Lucy and Daniel can quickly be drawn into a tense drama when Sharon, under Cameron's influence, decides to fight back. Cameron not only wants to see Sharon fall, but also wants to use her as a puppet to carry out his evil revenge plan. Phyllis Summers, who has had a rocky history with Sharon, is also not out of the picture. With Sharon on the brink of collapse, Phyllis could be next on the list of people Sharon feels the need to punish. In the coming episodes, viewers will see Phyllis face danger as she not only has to deal with Sharon but also defend herself against Cameron's crazy schemes and actions. Nick Newman, who has always been concerned about Sharon's mental health, will begin to see warning signs in her behavior. The changes in Sharon's attitude and emotions are not lost on Nick, who has been there for her through her toughest times. Realizing that Sharon is spiraling out of control, Nick will seek help from Victor and Nikki Newman. As people with extensive experience dealing with complex psychological and family issues, Victor and Nikki will try to provide Nick with advice and guidance to help protect Sharon and her family. While the conflict surrounding Sharon and Phyllis escalates, another storyline is unfolding involving Diane Jenkins and Jack Abbott. Diane and Jack, concerned about the future of their son Kyle Abbott, begin a strategy session to determine Kyle's next move. Despite their efforts to keep Kyle's bad impulses in check, they realize that Kyle is increasingly drawn into the Newman family's world of power, especially under the influence of Victor Newman. Diane and Jack fear that Victor is exerting more control over Kyle than they anticipated. Kyle, facing pressure from all sides, seems unable to escape the spiral of power Victor has created. This puts Jack and Diane in a difficult position, forcing them to think about how to pull Kyle out of this web of power before it's too late. Claire Grace, on the other hand, is also facing difficult decisions about her career path. After years of working under Jordan's thumb, Claire now has to make a choice about her future. One option Claire is considering is returning to work for the Newman Empire under Nikki Newman. With Kyle no longer her boss, Claire may find new freedom and opportunities under Nikki's guidance. However, it's not just about work decisions. Kyle and Claire's feelings are also developing subtly. There are clear signs that a romance is brewing between the two. This fall could be the time when Kyle and Claire's relationship begins to blossom. The transition from boss-employee to romance will be a major milestone, especially as Claire moves out of her nanny role. After Kyle's confession about Victor's pressure, Claire will have to reevaluate her job and reorient her future. Subscribe to Yonder for the latest news on our channel.